We should be going live. Hello. How is everyone? Oh, how's things? How's life? How's the universe? How has your week been? Sorry for blowing your ears off there. I have adjusted the microphone hopefully appropriately. Yeah. Hello. That one. Yeah. Hello. How is everybody doing? I can feel that my lips are incredibly dry. 2 secs. Hello. Uh, how are we all doing? How's things? How's life? How's the universe? How's your week been? Feel really small in this frame. Hold up. There we go. Hi. How's everybody doing? Um, Hello, Jim. How you doing, man? How's things? Ow, 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 ow. I attempted to repair my broken phone today for a video. You will see it eventually. Um, I I got a replacement like frame from eBay. Unfortunately, I was pretty sure that it was not operational, and yeah, I confirmed it's not operational. It was a repair store selling it on the cheap. Um, so yeah, yeah. Uh, I'm good. How are you? Life, you have to. um, I'm fine, thanks. Was that convincing enough? Um, I've I've been worse, not by much. I've been a lot better. So, um, I actually tried contact lenses for the first time this week, and I didn't like them. I've actually filmed an video without glasses on, and it just looks weird, doesn't it? Like I am so used to looking at my face with glasses that without just doesn't seem right. Hello, John. How you doing, man? How's things? Uh, Someone already asked up, Doc. I guess yeah, sort of. The answer is I have been slightly worse before. I have been much better before. Um, as you well know, I'm willing to go into details. Um, but yeah, how are you? Been ill for five-ish uh days. I hear they're still kicking. Fair. Paul, like my sympathies. Hope you get better soon. Hello, B. A lot of people also think their voice sounds weird. So I've been recording myself and like seeing my face and hearing my voice for 13 going on 14 years in like 3 months. Um, so I'm pretty well versed in what I look and sound like. Although, as you'll learn in the next 12 to 18 months, I've got to go through that process again. I would be laser eye surgery, all fun until you get magic laser eyes. Ah. Um, yeah, like glasses have always been like this sounds weird, but I've kind of always wanted glasses. They are a styling attribute that is can help frame your face, and I like them. I'm actually looking to get a new set because these are my old prescription, and while they're fine, I can. I mean, my eyesight isn't that bad. I mostly just have astigmatism, so like even without glasses, I can read your comments, etc. But yeah. Um, it'd be nice to have good vision rather than just okay vision. So yeah. Lenses take a while to get used to. I tried them as well and gave them a bit of time. Nah, bother me. Yeah. I don't really need glasses for the most part, so it was good. Same, sort of. Also, as someone who has had eye surgery on both eyes, at least scraping eye surgery, not like poking eye surgery. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about like how I would feel doing LASIK. Also, it's really expensive. I think it's like £600 per eye starting. Um, so yeah, that's a lot. Like considering I spend maybe £100 on 2 pairs of glasses every like 4 years. You know, that's a lot. Um, I guess if I had really bad vision and contacts, like I wore contacts regularly and stuff, maybe that would be more of a thing. But yeah. Yes, because scraping sounds so much better than poking. Well, scraping feels less invasive than puncturing. Because like so they just for my eye surgeries they just put like numbing drops in your eyes, and then they put a little glass like cylinder on top of your eye. They pour isopropyl alcohol in, wait for 30 seconds, wash it off, and then scrape off the delaminated layer, and then that's it. Or they put a contact lens in that sort of glues to your eyes, and that's it. Um, Whereas, you know, a lot of other eye surgeries require, you know, like puncturing the eye with stuff, anesthetic going into the eye rather than just on top of it. It just um and fair play be. I mean, yeah, I guess if you did correct them, you could still wear glasses just without a prescription for the style points, but yeah, fair. Hello Simon, hello Ish. How you guys doing? I imagine that the Southern Hemisphere is representing because it's now at very least 1 hour, if not 2 hours earlier for them. Um, but yeah, I hope you have a wonderful Friday, guys. I'm not quite there yet. um, yeah. 4 p.m. here in Trinidad, in Caribbean. Nice. You may be the first. I think you're certainly the first commenter from Trinidad. So, congratulations. 7 a.m. instead of 5 a.m. now. Much better. Wonderful. I still wouldn't be up at 7 a.m., but each to their own. It's probably because I'd be up at 1 or 2 a.m., so getting up at 7 is a bit of a push, you know? Um, anyway, yes, I tried to repair a phone today and it didn't go well. Uh, I mentioned last week that I smashed my OnePlus 7T phone's screen by accident. I, I sometimes sort of jump out of my car, and the pockets in my trousers aren't very good at holding stuff in, so the phone sort of leapt out of my pocket and then smashed screen first into the ground. And yeah, bad times. The screen does still work, so I was able to transfer everything off to my new phone, my OnePlus 13, which I'm actually very happy with. However, I what you call it? I wanted to repair the 7T Pro, so I used like screen plus front frame from eBay. I was pretty sure it wasn't going to work, and funnily enough, it didn't work. So yeah, uh, it has a big like white line, like not just a single pixel white line, but a big white line. So I've ordered another replacement frame, this time from AliExpress. So it's actually, well, I have more hope of it actually working. That'll be here in a week or two. So I will pick up the video from where that left off. But getting into the phone actually wasn't that bad. I used my hot air station, which is why it's not here today. It's upstairs. And just took my time heating around the edge to get the glue. Used the little plectrums to sort of break the glue bonds. A little suction cup to pull it out. And yeah, went pretty well. So yeah. You'll see a very casual video of that probably in about a month at this point. So yeah. Have you not tried your sporring, Andy? Funnily enough, I don't actually own a kilt, nor a sporran, nor the knee-high socks, nor the wee knife. I know. I have worn a kilt on a few occasions, but not in about... Oh god, how old am I? At least a decade, but no. At least 2 decades. If the screen had worked fine, would you be happy how it ended up? Yeah, for the most part. I mean, my intention was to basically take everything that was in my original phone's frame and just transfer it over with the added factor of replacing the battery. I'm pretty sure that the seller of the frame that I bought knew that it was buggered. So he included a battery for free and a new back glass for free. It's a plastic back glass though, which I'm not super thrilled about. And the original one I was able to get off with no problems. There's just a few sort of like hairline cracks in it, but it's fine. So I'm gonna leave the original one because that's a nice glass. I'm gonna and I'd already bought an iFixit battery, so what I can do is just sell that battery and make most of my money back. In fact, I could probably sell it as a kit minus the frame. Actually, what I intend to do with the frame is when... oh no, I've bought the new frame, haven't I? What I was intending on doing with the frame was replacing the screen on that one so that the working phone stays together until such a point as I can sort of whatever. And yeah, and then hopefully I'll be able to give that phone to my wife as a pretty decent little upgrade. Okay, it's not the newest or whatever, but it still worked just fine. And if I hadn't smashed it, I wouldn't have upgraded. See, you've said something Scottish, and now I'm turning Scottish again. I don't really know how that happens, but it just does. And then I start sounding Glaswegian again. See, the thing is that if I still lived in Scotland, this is what I'd sound like the whole time. And you wouldn't understand anything I'm saying. And the funny thing is, I'm not really even trying. It's just coming out. So when I swap back to my much more anglicised accent, with much better pronunciation, it was very posh and a bit gay. Bit camp. It's kind of funny. Funny that happens. At least there was a chance of fixing the screen. No Apple shenanigans. Indeed. In fact, one of the fun things that I did was, well, I thought, hold on, before I take this whole thing apart, let me just pop the display off, pop the new display's connector on, and then boot the phone up and see what happens. Now, unfortunately, massive white bar down the middle, unusable. But the fact that I was able to just instantly boot the phone with a few bits missing, basically, and it didn't throw a fuss at all, booted up just fine, like... Touchscreen digitizer worked. I didn't try the fingerprint sensor because I'd only just booted it and I immediately then turned it back off. But, you know, the fact that it just works is very nice. No bagpipes to pee off the neighbors or get revenge for transgressions. No, funnily enough. I've got an electric drum kit, which is the closest thing to an obnoxious instrument that I have here. I do have a few guitars, but you know, my amp is down on the floor down there, and it's quite small. You can't really hear much from it. So, it's quite funny when I accidentally go Scottish. Quite funny. So what's been happening this week in the week of tech? I mean, RAM prices are still going through the roof, which is insane. I haven't looked this week actually. We looked. Was it last week? The week before? I hate the resume browsing thing. I just want Did you get the 13 direct from OnePlus? No, I got it on Amazon. Because it was cheaper. I actually got the 13, I think it was 5 days before before the 15 came out. But honestly, I'm not too mad about that. Because I'm pretty sure let me double check for so the OnePlus 15 for come on, just show me for the version that I got with 512 gig of storage, that is over £100 more, if not. And it's also £100 off for like Black Friday or whatever. So, yeah, I'm fine with that. It's a perfectly decent phone. I'm just looking up a kit of memory to see what sort of price, hideous pricing. God. So this kit, this just Corsair Vengeance, not really that impressive. RGB RAM is £200 for 32 gig. It was £100 a couple months ago, and it basically, like, yeah, on the 18th they all skyrocketed. By the 19th, like, it's gone up a lot. Most sites, so overclockers, have kept it, but everywhere else it's gone up another £100. 100. It's now £360 basically everywhere. Jesus. Damn. So RAM pricing, insane. Also NAND pricing, getting insane. The RAM I would like to have purchased is now more than the motherboard I would like to purchase. This is not very fun at all. Yeah, no. No, it's not. It's not a good time to be building a PC, to be honest. I've heard unconfirmed that SK Hynix is capping production till February 2026. I haven't heard that, but I'm not that surprised. So, for those who don't know, the reason why RAM pricing and soon to be NAND flash pricing is skyrocketing is that there are only a very small handful of manufacturers of RAM, especially the new fast stuff that we all use. I think it's what Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron. That's basically it. That's your lot. And so they only have limited production capacity anyway, and they also forecast how much demand there is. And then a lot of data centers are obviously being built and spun up or upgraded is the other thing. Like even existing data centers are now buying a whole load more stuff to replace stuff that's already there. Ambulance going by. And so what you get is just an insane amount of demand and a very fixed and frankly quite limited supply. And it's the RAM manufacturer's failure to anticipate the demand, which realistically you could see coming from a mile away. In like AI stuff takes data centers and takes an awful lot of compute, and specifically an awful lot of memory. So, yeah, the fact that they didn't ramp production enough sufficiently means that us as consumers get the short end of the stick once again. So at least the 13 has the slide switch for silent, vibrate more normal. The 15 doesn't. Well, that's the thing. They dropped it on like the 9 or 10 or whatever. And that drives me mad because the alert slider on the side of OnePlus phones is like the best feature. So right now it's in vibrate where it always is. If you need to like go somewhere, right, you just drop that and it's now on silent. If you push it down, it's now on ring. Like this is the one of the best features of the phone. Why keep taking it away? Like this phone is IP not even 68, 69. Nice. Rated. Like this is it's not a waterproofing problem. Aye. Stop taking away controls, goddammit. I'll be sticking to DDR4, upgraded on my PC NAS, and soon the missus' PC. Nice. From 16 to 32 on the cheap. Just raided the second-hand market, and almost every PC component has been getting more expensive with price hikes 2+ times a day. Damn. It's not a good place. It's not like the PC market is not in a good state. And ironically, it means that we kind of have to look to the saviors of the sort of the market. Like, I think one of the reasons that people were so interested in Valve's Steam machine is that it's not high-end hardware. It's very affordable hardware. I think I can't remember who it was. I think it was someone. I've seen a YouTube short who was quoting someone else to say that the hardware cost, like the BOM cost of the hardware in the Steam machine, is something like $425. Now add in the custom plastics, you know, the casing and whatnot, the design cost, they've got to make a bit of money on top of that. Even if it's double, $800 for a little gaming PC like that is actually really pretty decent. Like, that's decent for a system. Like, that's what the next generation Xbox is intending to cost, as far as I'm aware. It's like high-end console money. But like, it's not bad, you know? So, if it is anywhere like 600 would be even better, obviously. But yeah, 600 to 800, even like 1,000 would be pushing it. But 600 to 800, I think, is a pretty reasonable price for that sort of system, and that would be amazing for a lot of people. With the catch obviously being Linux gaming, but also Microsoft has like a Gatling gun pointed at their feet and they just can't stop pressing the button. Like, full on, you know. Like, the barrels are overheating at this point, you know? They don't have much feet left. Just pulp. 1080p PC hardware priced at 4K console pricing. Well, sort of. Because the thing is that the consoles don't really play at 4K either. Because they are 1080p from 5 years ago levels of hardware, but very specialized and a lot of upscaling. So the Steam machine is the same vein. You can play 4K games on it, upscaled at medium settings, or you can play on 1080p at higher settings, at higher refresh rates. That's kind of the choice you make. And for that kind of price, like, yeah, it's definitely a TV gaming experience though for me. Like, I know that it's a PC, but it goes with a TV to me, you know. Hello, Luca. How you doing, man? How's things? The ramen question is now 1,900 Australian dollars. Like, I know that your money's, you know, a bit rough, but like, oh, even a cheaper 96 gig kit with just 6,000 mega transfer per second in CL30 is 12 to 1,400. Jesus. I don't know. The it's basically double, like, or half, depending on which way you look at it. Like, £1 is, I guess, slightly over. Slightly less than. Around about two. So any Australian dollar pricing, you know, half it to get it for pounds. But geez, that's still a lot of money. Like, almost £1,000 for, is that 128 gig? Because you said even a cheaper 96 gig kit was. Are you looking at 128 gig kit? But even then, 128 gig is like, should be, depending on the speed and whatnot, £200 to £400, not 1,000. If even Simon is you know, blown away by the memory prices, then it must be, because Jesus, that's ridiculous. Da, 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 da. I'll be getting a good B550M and a Lian Li A3 so I can keep my 32 gig of RAM and a 5700X 3D and actually put a 5070 Super or something eventually. Nice. So smug about getting a 5700X 3D for €100. Currently, if you can even find it, it's 220 to 285. Nice. They're cheating with the PSU for the game box. Right, it's an external brick, so you can make an ITX system of a similar size, but you can externalize the PSU, but it would probably be pricier. So no, I'm pretty sure it takes AC in, so there is an internal power supply. However, it's basically a laptop motherboard. It's a little laptop motherboard with, you know, RAM one side, CPU and GPU on the other. You know, connected to the heatsink, and the heatsink is the majority of the enclosure with a chunk cut out for the power rail. It doesn't consume that much power, so you know, like, it's not an upgradable system really. I think you've got an M.2 SSD you could upgrade, and that's about it. I don't think you can upgrade the RAM as far as I'm aware. Maybe you can. I don't know. Maybe it's SODIMMs, but it probably isn't. But yeah, it is an internal power supply. It's bad, but it's not a cartel shipping RAM in drug boats for sale in shady alleyways bad yet. Yeah. And then the US will just kill you extraditionally. You can probably make a better machine without RAM for good money, but it's a set-top box. People can just buy it, and being standardized, they can validate it and stuff. Yeah, I think, like, the idea of the Steam machine, which, to be fair, the idea of a Steam machine goes back over a decade. I'm pretty sure, like, I talked about it on the channel a decade ago. Valve has wanted to make a Steam machine, and has technically made a Steam machine before. But the problem was game support and Linux. They knew they couldn't ship it with Windows, and that Windows was a sinking ship. And yeah, so they've been working on Linux basically the whole time. The Steam Deck was a great like starter for it, and now that Proton has such good support, and even some games are natively supporting. It's like it should be pretty decent. And basically the idea is to give you console level like experience. You buy a box, you plug it in, you use the controller that you bought with it, uh, and that's pretty much it. Like you play your games, you install your games on it, it just works. That's the idea. Except it's also a PC that you can do PC stuff with. That's the value add compared to an actual console. So yeah. And the fact that it is standardized hardware makes it a lot easier to what's the word? Optimize for. Brains fried. John, I believe that there are like that front panel is actually customizable. I have seen ones with a display in them. I've seen ones that are wood. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that you could either aftermarket or maybe from the factory, although I kind of doubt it, get an airflow panel instead if you want. Yeah. Hello Chris, how you doing? The problem is that it might be pretty decent when it releases next year, but in 1, 2, or 3 years' time, it will be a little bit poorly. Yes and no. Again, if you look at the console, like Xbox, PlayStation, those are significantly lower power than what the Steam machine intends to be, and they still play all the games just fine. It's not really a question of like the hardware itself, it's a question of optimization, and it also depends on how popular the Steam machine is. If the Steam machine and Steam Deck are popular enough for game developers to start optimizing for those systems, it's going to be fine. The beauty of it is in its standardization. The fact that there is only one spec, there is only one version, and as we've seen with the Steam Deck, instead of what like Asus have done with the Ally, where there was the Ally and now there's the Ally X, and then the I think there a new one coming. I mean, there's the Xbox One. Has there been 3 generations of Ally already? I don't remember. But instead of replacing it and then having lots of different hardware SKUs, they just have. Oh, and there's actually 2 versions of the Ally, the Z1 and the Z1 Extreme. There's like actually 2 different processors and cores in there. Instead of that, there is just one APU that's in all of the Steam Decks, including the year later revised OLED version. So yeah. Hello, Essentialist. And good idea, Chris. You're gonna make bank. You really wanted to like name drop your new job there, didn't you? Just. However, they've said that they've worked with AMD in order to optimize the power and thermals. Not sure if they included a turbo button for the airflow version. It'd be nice though. True, I doubt it, but true. And what I would say is that it is still a PC, so you can just like overclock it. Fair play, Chris. Best of luck. Hello, Desmond. Yes, it's a BGA chip. Yeah. Like I said, laptop hardware. Steam is the platform for AAA games, though. Are you expecting system requirements to stand still? The Steam machine spec is already built on aging hardware now, and it's not coming out until next year. What again? Like, I understand that, but the Steam Deck was already aging hardware when it launched, and it's still doing fine, right? Like the Steam Deck's APU, the custom APU, was already, I think, a generation behind the most current, very recently released Zen 4 or 5, whatever, chips. Uh, the graphics core was also not exactly the newest, and it's still fine because it's not about having the best hardware. It's about what is relative, like what is good for the experience, like the user experience that they are targeting. And yeah, they're not targeting ultra high end hardware and ultra high end performance. Hello, John. Good to have you. Hope I'm well. Not really, but we're powering through anyway. Maybe Valve will drop an eGPU for the deck. I doubt it. I really doubt it. Like I said, the user experience that they are aiming for. That, yeah. Also, to clarify, like, as I've said, I very much view the Steam Machine as like an HTPC, right? And yeah, you can build a 5090 HTPC if you've got the money for it. You know, more power to you. But the source of games that you play on a TV, on a controller, on a PC, isn't COD. It's Overcooked. It's, what's the moving one? Stuff like Plate Up, you know. Gang Beasts. Well, that's probably a bit old now. It's all that sort of stuff. This, I guess. I don't know what that is. But yeah. And for those games, that's fine. I'm not saying that it is a perfect decision and a perfect system. But I think for the market that they have clearly targeted it at, I think it's fine. And of course, if you don't like it, build your own. I have a laptop chip as a decoration in front of me, and that's PGA. Interesting. What laptop chip? It's pretty rare these days, anyway, that laptops are not just soldered to the board directly, aka ball grid array or BGA. Wow. These days being the operative word. There you go. My Ryzen 2500U mobile CPU keyring gave up on me this week. Quite sad. Fair. 07. I picked up a new PC 5090 top and chip and motherboard, looking at 10k plus. Gee, I mean, I know that that's like doubled. If like to think about that in UK pricing, that's $5,000. But geez, man. Oh yeah, Core 2 Duo. Yeah, those were the days where they put a socket in a laptop because the laptop was that thick. You know, nowadays laptops are that thick, and that's how thick a socket is. Um, at least your ow, at least your hair seems to be working, Andy. Even if the rest of you's falling to pieces. Yeah. Yeah. Happy about that one. And yeah, the rest of me really is falling to pieces. I'm actually on tramadol right now. I should have taken 2. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to get rid of hair everywhere else, so at least this one's, still going. What I was gonna say was so we've had a leak in from the roof, and I had a look in the loft, and it we found a little hole. We found out like where the water is going when it's in the loft, but I wanted to find out where it was coming from outside. And it turns out that the easiest way for me to do that is to fly my DJI Mavic Air 2. It's a tiny little drone, and yeah, I flew this. I took a video of the whole thing, and I now know where the water is coming from. It was quite fun actually. A bit difficult because it was really, really, really windy. But I got there in the end. Yeah, I got there. Um, yeah. So I have a video of me circling my chimney to find out what the problem is. Such a diddy little drone. It is. It's 249 grams, which means that I can fly it anywhere, over anyone, over anything, and it's fine. It's basically so light that the government decided, well, you could basically crash this into people, and it's just so light that you wouldn't injure anyone, so it's fine. So yeah, I just like I am actually licensed for it. I do actually have my operator ID on the side of that, because I'm good like that. But yeah, uh, correct. Yeah, you take a little online course, or test that's basically like it's a multiple choice questionnaire, and the questions are all like, so your drone's about to run out of battery. Do you A, have it return home, fly it home, like fly it to your takeoff point and land it safely? B, wait until it's completely out of battery and then laugh as it falls out of the sky and lands on people? Or do you C, actively fly it into a like restricted building because it's gonna fail anyway? Which do you pick? So yeah, I passed that one happily. Uh, and yeah, so that's yeah, and then you pay £11 a year or something, whatever. Um, yeah. Hello, Stanislav. How you doing? How's things? Uh, yeah, so in the UK, if you want to ride a motorcycle, the process depends on your age a bit, but the very first thing that you do, regardless, is you get CBT. Not cognitive behavioral therapy, and not a type of torture. A compulsory bike test, where you basically just turn up, they show you around a bike, you go for a little ride to prove that you can ride the bike on the road, and then as long as you have L plates on, that's basically it. You're allowed to ride like a very restricted class of motorbikes. No further testing. It's valid for 2 years. In theory, they do this because, unlike in a driving a car where the examiner or the your instructor is in the car with you and can therefore help operate the car in emergencies, So whether that is just grabbing the wheel or pulling the handbrake, or whether that is, in an actual learner's car where they can like put the clutch in and brake for you. Um, on a motorbike, even though your instructors are, right behind you, they can't actually stop you from crashing into people or whatever. So you do a little test first to make sure it's all good, and then you can, in theory, use it to train. Although there is no actual restrictions on how much usage you can get out of your CVT. So you're allowed to just ride it as long as you're insured appropriately, as much as you want. As long as you've got some L plates, it's all good. And so yeah, the then you take two different tests. Well, actually three. You take a theory test, and then you take an off-road, like in a big car park doing specific maneuvers test, mod 1, and then you take an on-road test, a standard driving test, mod 2. And then if you're under 24, you get given an A. Or if you're under 19, you get given an A1 license, which is more restricted. If you're over 19 but under 24, you get an A2 license, which is what I have because I did it when I was 19 or 20 or whatever. And then if you're over 24, you get the full A license, which is any bike you want. At some point, I will be going back and getting my full A license. You can basically upgrade it by taking mod 1 and mod 2 again without the theory test. So I will do that at some point when I have the time, money, and body to do it. There's a handy government flowchart. Nice. There you go. A lot of Brazilians get the provisional license, never go for the full test with the full license. Then when they get points, they get a new license in a different name. Clever. Clever. Stanislav, I'm just chilling this evening. Nice. Slowly building my PC and bought the RAM before the raise of prices, but will probably not get an SSD and GPU before their time to do the same. Good on the RAM. Unfortunate on the other two. I wish you the best in that endeavor. What's the spec on your system? What are you going for? Those questions sound like your yearly mandatory ethics courses at work. Well, that's the thing with like basically any like government test, like licensing test that you do. Like the UK like theory test, whether that's for motorcycles or for cars, it is very much like, you're at a roundabout, one lane is closed. Do you A, go the wrong way around the roundabout to get to your exit faster? B, use the open lane and do your best to signal, or do you C, drive straight through the road closure, drive on the lane anyway? Like, those are your genuine sort of options. Even used RAM prices are more. I got 300 gigabytes of 32 gig ECC modules for £240, and it's like 400 now. Yikes! Yeah, bad time to build a system. Really is. Although actually, since I've got a lot of parts here, I'm thinking of building my own little ITX system for my living room for the time being. Yeah. I'm going full AMD, got the motherboard, RAM, and case. Nice. Hope it goes well. Is it true you need a license for spoons or having trash in your car, or you get arrested in the UK? Not that I would ever have trash in my car or a dangerous spoon. Well, no. So the funny thing that that I what you call it, that I've heard a lot, but can't really understand is, yeah, that like Oi, mate, you got a license for that? Because we don't have licenses for stuff in the UK besides the really big obvious stuff. Like, you have a driving license, and then like, yeah, you might have a pilot's license, you might have a drone license, you might have a firearms license. But other than those like four things, three of which is very optional equipment, you don't get licenses for stuff. Like there is a lot of like planning permission for your house if you're doing like major renovations, but like I only have a license for my car and motorbike, and that's it. Those are the only licenses that I have. Yeah, I guess in like business stuff, maybe you have a few more. Like, yeah, a hazmat license or explosives. Um, but like, I mean, even for stuff like electrician, you're not a licensed electrician. You are a like qualified electrician, right? Like, you're not. I mean, okay, so uh, uh no, even like F-gas certification, it's certification, it's not licensing. Um, but yeah, license to kill. But yeah, whereas at least as far as I understand in America, you need like permission from either private government (HOAs) or actual government like state, local, or federal, um, to do basically anything. Like you want to do any modification to your building, you gotta get a license for that. You want to run a business, you need a business license. You want to like, I don't know, walk your dog past 10 p.m. Well, there's probably curfews. Like, I I don't really understand where that comes from. Um, yeah. If anyone has any ideas, feel free to fill me in. Shotguns are a different license to rifles, but apparently they want to change it so it's one license, which surely means they more people would just get rifles. Don't you need? I mean, I guess it depends on the thing, but don't you need a like justified reason for having the firearm in the first place? Like you need to be part of a gun club to class it as sport, or you need to be a farmer, live in the live on a farm for pest control um purposes. Um, my understanding anyway. Yeah, there you go. Uh, license to sell alcohol. I mean, yeah, because we have off licenses. Although isn't I don't know. I mean, you definitely have to have a license to sell alcohol in America, which is a whole big like regulation thing. Um, yeah. Um, it's not that hard to join a club. There is several local to me actually. There's even an indoor shooting range. I know, in like not the middle of the city, but not far off. I have a license as a motor mechanic, an electronics technician. Also have a registered business license. So it's like Australia that's the license capital then. Like you're not a like licensed motor mechanic here. Um, I you're not a licensed electronics technician or a licensed builder. You might be a qualified or like certificated, certified, certificated. Um, yeah. Um, but no, as far as I'm aware, there's not building licenses. It's planning permission, but yeah, who knows? Uh, fair. Uh, I made that word up, didn't I? Yeah, I tried. Yeah. Um, yeah, gaming, gambling license. Yeah, like everything needs approval and licenses and stuff in the States, which uh, I don't understand how like we in Britain have the stereotype for that because we just don't have as many, as far as I'm aware anyway. I in my day-to-day life as a business owner have exactly 2 licenses, and it's actually really only one. I have a driving license that also allows me to drive or ride motorcycles. Um, and there's like a lot of different classes to a license, but I have an driving license, and that's it. The new Tai Chi OCF board is fine and all, but the Tai Chi Creator board looks very pretty, and it's also not very expensive. But with an X3D, do I really want to risk a boom boom? Is the Tai Chi Creator board like low quality? X870? Uh, Tai Chi Creator. Um, it's got 10 gig LAN. That's nice. I have an X570 Tai Chi, I think. Though I might have broken it. I mean that. Uh, that the Tai Chi board looks. Oh wait, you mean Wait, hold on. What do you mean, boom boom? Because that's pretty stout. Also, is this website like crypto mining in the background or something? Because Jesus Christ, my system is like running up a sweat. Yeah. What the hell? What the? So I just went on ASRock's website and it was using legitimately 15% of my CPU utilization. Like it was ripping all cores. What? Huh? What's happening? Maybe that's something to explore later. Um. Oh, okay. Yeah. I clocked that you meant that the ASRock board, like ASRock might be the problem, but you were comparing two ASRock boards, so I was confusing. Um, I was confused. Um, yeah, I mean, I'd prefer to not have my several hundred uh dollar CPU explode from failure. So yeah. Um, yeah, I have seen what you call it. Uh, Come on, brain. Looks nice. Expensive. Um, I've seen ASRock boards going boom. Yeah. Just confused. The board does look nice though, which is annoying. Oh. Oh. Ah. Wow. Ah. Right. I think I'm gonna leave it there. My smart TRV just opened. Ow. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna leave it there. I hope you all have a wonderful week. I hope you all stay safe. Hope you all have fun. There'll be a video tomorrow, which is actually a really interesting one. Please check it out. And yeah, video Monday. And assuming I'm not, deceased, I shall be here next week. Hope you all have fun. Hope you all stay safe. And yeah, see you all next week.